What's going on, everybody? Yeah, the thumbnail is that's an old picture that happened years ago. Dog ran right through the driveway that we had. It wasn't finished. It was just bull floated, so it wasn't that big of a deal. So I thought I'd jump on here in the middle of the week. Haven't done a live for a while, and the Saturdays have been out of the question recently, and this Saturday will be out of the question as well. I'm planning right now on taking my family on the boat again for another dinner, I guess sunset dinner on the boat. Trying to use it while I can. Summer is short here in Wisconsin. We get basically like June, May, it's still pretty cold here. June, July, August, September, that's pretty much it. We get 4 months of summer here where it's warm enough to be on a boat and really just enjoy yourself. What's with the dog? Oh, on the thumbnail. That was just an old picture, you guys. It's something I just threw up there from my photo album. It was a job we had poured, pretty big driveway, bull floated, and the dog ran out of the house and ran right down the driveway. It was thankfully, we had just bull floated it, so it was at a stage where we could easily fix it. Any update on the land, David? Yes, update on the land. All the closing documents are ready. We have the closing scheduled for the 28th. I have everything that's needed. All the paperwork is done. It's just a matter of, closing on the 28th. Next week, Wednesday, is the big day. Everything's ready. The money is there. It's in my account. It's ready to wire. And my real estate attorney has everything in order. Been working with the title company, and we are ready to go. We've been doing a lot of work on the land. I have been doing most of the work myself, but there's some videos coming up, and you'll see what we got going on over there. Been working a lot over there. Grant, thank you very much. What happened to you and Eric doing a live? It just didn't work out the last couple of times. And then obviously with Eric's recent job and all the heat he was taking, I didn't want to sit here and answer a million questions about Eric's job and all that. So that's just not something that I was real interested in. So the hardest job on your crew is being your son. Maybe. I mean, I hold my son to a higher standard than I hold anybody else, and I do that for a reason. I expect excellence out of my son, not only at work, but at home and in school, because I want him to succeed in life. Obviously, because he's my son, I can hold him to different standards than I hold my other guys too. He understands that. He doesn't get bitter and mad at me. I don't take it to the extreme. I'm not mean or cruel or anything like that. But yeah, I want him to know everything that I know. I want him to be, intelligent when it comes to construction. I want him to have a full understanding of what's going on. I want him to be able to run equipment. He got a CDL. He's driving trucks. So yeah, definitely hold him to a little bit of a different standard. It wouldn't be fair to hold the other guys, to the standard that I hold him to. But yeah, it's part of being a good parent is you want your kids to succeed, obviously. Xavier, thank you very much. I appreciate that. How did you study for your contractor exam? So I know in a lot of states you got to have a license. Some of you guys are giving, and I'm not going to be able to keep up with all the questions. So don't feel like you need to give, or if you give, you're going to definitely get your question answered. I prefer that you don't give anything and, don't expect your question to answer, because I feel bad, if people give, a couple of dollars, $4 or $5 here, and I just don't have the time to catch them all. So I forgot what I was answering. I rarely forget where I am, but I forgot where I am. We'll move on to the next one. Bunkerage. I'm not going to talk about Eric's job, you guys. It has nothing to do with me. It wasn't a referral of mine. I've never seen the job. I did watch the video. I'm not going to comment on it. Eric's an employee of mine, and I will say that I'm helping guide Eric along. Obviously, you're going to make mistakes, as a young contractor, and sometimes your biggest mistakes or mistakes that cost you, and I don't know if anything's going to happen with that one or not, but that's how you learn. When you are the responsible one and the heat is put on you, that's how you learn and grow. So that's pretty much all I'm going to say about that. You guys, put a whole bunch of comments on his video, and I'm just not going to comment on it. I mean, you guys know what I think of the job. I don't have to say anything. Pretty obvious. You guys see what I do every day, and my expectations are what they are. So, but I never saw, I wasn't there beforehand. He never talked to me about it or anything like that. I just watched the video just like the rest of you. And then I gave him some, I gave him some advice, after all that happened, but that'll settle down and pass. I think the next, jobs that you guys see from him are going to be of a different standard, hopefully. So we'll leave it at that. How's the new land coming along? I just answered that really good. Going to close next Wednesday, but we've already been working on it. Looking tan. Yeah, it's been pretty warm. We've had mid 80s, generally speaking, towards the upper 80s. It hasn't been sizzling hot, but it's been warm. And we have had a few sizzling days, but for the most part, it's been tolerable. Yep, but it barely rains anymore here. We are in a pretty severe drought. We had like one day of rain. I don't know for sure, but we had one full day of rain in like the last 6 weeks and maybe a couple sprinkles in between, but it is super dry here. It's tough for the farmers. I mean, I like it. It's easy to schedule around good weather, but it is dry. Everything's turning to dust, grass is browning out, things are dying off. We really do need some rain. What did you have for dinner, Scott? I didn't really eat a dinner tonight. I mostly snacked. I had like 3 beef sticks, like 4 pieces of sliced cheese, Swiss cheese. I had a little salad and 4 strawberries. That's what I had for dinner tonight. I just wasn't real hungry, like to go out and get something to eat. Down like 30, I would say 38 pounds. I'm down right now. Did that lady ever pay you for the chip in her stare? No, she did not. But the video that I made talking about it did really good. So I made more than what she owed me overall. I wasn't going to pursue anything anyway. It didn't matter. So thank you, Tom. I appreciate that. And V Star, thank you so much. So we've been busy. We've been cranking out the work. As you watch the videos, keep in mind that we're working every day. So when you see a video like Monday and Wednesday and, or I'm sorry, Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday, I spread the videos out a little bit because I always want a backlog of work. For instance, this summer our family vacation is coming up, and I want videos to run right through the family vacation and not skip a beat. Even though we're not editing anything, we're not shooting any video. I just want everything to always go just consistently, and that's kind of the plan. It's also easier when you have a backlog because I learned this early on, if something happens with an employee and it turns out bad, um, you have basically some area to work with a couple weeks, so you can decide what you want to do with the videos and what you want to edit out. Because I always try to protect people's privacy. I never want to embarrass anybody, so I'm very careful with what I say and what goes on the videos, just for that reason. I don't want guys to be mad at me or why did you put that in the video. Like I never have any of that because I'm already careful with it. I already know what guys don't want on a video, so I don't put it in the video. But yeah, there's a backlog. So we've been busy cranking out work day after day after day. Several jobs behind on the videos, but they're already, they're edited and ready to go. So everything's going really good. I have plenty of work right now. Kenny, thank you very much. How come you don't put more videos? Nick, that is, it's just not possible. So shooting and editing and uploading videos, doing 3 good videos. I try to put out quality, entertaining, well edited videos. I take time on them. Putting out 3 a week is a lot of videos. So if you've never edited videos and made a video, you just wouldn't know that. Plus mine are long. Try to go like 35 to 55 minutes long. So I put out long, good videos, and 3 videos a week is quite a bit. It's about all I want to do. Once in a while, I'll put out a 4th, but that's it. That's it. That's a lot of work. That's why you don't see other channels, particularly construction channels. You don't see those guys putting out 4 or 5 videos a week. It's just not possible. Even though we work, 5 days a week. If it rains 4 days a week, we could, but it's way too much work. It's impossible. 3 a week is great. Is the destroyer suing you? Asked Nick Alba. Yeah, he's suing me. It's a $10 million lawsuit. I don't know where these stupid rumors come up. I see really dumb things come up sometime. No, I'm not getting sued by anybody. I have no lawsuits whatsoever, but stuff keeps coming up. Ryan's getting sued. Ryan can't post on a second channel because he's got legal. I have no legal problems whatsoever. Everything is going great. So don't listen to everything you hear on the internet. That's for sure. Big G484. Thank you very much. I was going to have my yard stamped in driveway and I want to put heated systems and lights. Was told I can't. Is it true? No, that's not true. You can put in hydronic heating under a driveway, absolutely. However, it's very expensive for the system. Basically, you need a boiler, natural gas, or run the boiler. You're going to have PEX tubing running all through the driveway. It's extremely expensive to install. That's why you don't see it very often at all. I've done a handful. That's it because it's cost prohibitive. But yeah, absolutely, you can do it. If you want lights and heat, go crazy. If you have the budget for it, go ahead. If you're loaded. Juan says, if anything, you would sue the destroyer. No, I'm not suing anybody. So everything is fine. Still talk to the Daryls, and I don't have a bad relationship with really anybody, honestly. Right, why does Ryan Jr. get to park in the yard and you make everyone else park down the streets? Because that's my son. It's the benefit of being the son of the owner of the company. So if you think that's unfair, you think it's unfair. However, as you know, we bought the new land and it's ginormous. It's huge. We've been making a giant gravel area for the trucks and for all the guys to park in. So if you feel extremely sorry for the poor guys that have to walk like 200 yards every day from their cars or trucks to the yard, you won't feel sorry for them any longer. So yeah, that was a little tongue in cheek. It's just like I don't know. People are so soft now. Like, oh, you make your guys walk. You're like, oh, come on. Man, I used to plow snow all winter long in a Bobcat that had no door and no heat. You want to talk about miserable in a snowstorm and a blizzard? That's miserable. And guess who never complained about it? Guys back then just didn't complain. That was normal. Guys nowadays are like, man, these guys are so soft and weak and sissified. It drives me crazy. Like, be a man, man up. Do you watch Eric's videos? I watch one here and there, not a lot. They finish kind of, they can walk into the yard. That's right, Bull. That's right. So, dry pour. That whole phenomenon, Julian, thanks for the question. The dry pour videos. If you've been on YouTube at all, like in concrete's kind of in your search genre, you've seen the dry pour videos come up and like everybody, home improvement, construction, concrete guys, like everybody is doing dry pour videos because for whatever reason in the search, the dry pour videos like hit the algorithm. So people are doing dry pour videos and getting tons of views. Um, Good for them, but I am so sick of those things popping up. They're still going. There's still channels of what happens if we do a dry pour? Like, oh my goodness, we've seen this done like 300 times already. Just stop it with the dumb dry pour. Put the concrete in a mixer or wheelbarrow, mix it up, and pour your 3x3 pad, and then have a good pad instead of pouring dry pour and wondering if it's going to break apart in the next 3 months. Just do it right or don't do it at all. And stop it with the dry pour videos. I'm just kidding. I'm not hating. If videos are on the algorithm, I understand. Go for the views, but you're not going to see this guy do a dry pour video. I'm sorry. I'm not a guy that like jumps on trends and does stuff that other people are doing. Like I want to be the guy that's first to start something, and the rest of the people can do what I'm doing. But I'm not just following other people. I'm not going to be a follower. So, is your youngest also? I don't understand your question, Guillermo. A hard worker, maybe? Super hard worker. Um, are you going to rent space to any of your workers on the new land? I am not going to rent space to anybody on the new land while it's being developed. That just causes problems. I won't rent to anybody that I know. So any of my workers, definitely not. Anybody that I know, family members, nobody's stuff is coming on my land because what that does is all relationships or most relationships at some point they break down. You have problems, and if you're having problems with an employee especially, and they're renting and have all their stuff on your land, well, now you got a headache and a problem. You got their stuff on your land and you don't want them there anymore because you don't like looking at each other. So I've decided that I won't rent to anybody that I know. And it's not just workers, it's friends, it's family. I don't care if you know me or my best friend, you call me and say, "Oh man, can I put my pickup truck? I don't have no, no junk on my land." So when it comes time, when I have the buildings and I'm officially going to rent, then I'll start renting, but not until then. Plus, I have a lot of land moving to do too. Stuff's just going to get in my way. Never, yeah. See, Hosty 2003 says, I'm going through that right now. Never rent to friends and relatives. Great call, Ryan. I did do some renting back in the day. I had um, sorry, I'm just reading. I did have a duplex at one point, and I did not enjoy being a landlord in Milwaukee. I was in Milwaukee, it was a duplex, so it wasn't, a stellar neighborhood. So getting good renters was super difficult. And just, I don't remember how long I had the rental for, several years, but just in a span of several years, I had a lot of headaches and I sold that place because I just couldn't take it anymore. It's different if you have rental places in a good neighborhood or a business setting like I'm going to have. That's completely different, but never again, definitely not in Milwaukee. Have you ever thought about golfing again? I think about golfing all the time. When I drive by a golf course, I have so many good memories. I started golfing when I was like 12 years old. We lived right across the street from a public golf course, Greenfield Golf Course in West Dallas, Wisconsin. We lived right across the street. Obviously, it was fenced off, but I was 12 years old, and during the week, that was not a crowded golf course. So I would grab my clubs, throw my clubs over the fence. I had junky clubs anyway, jump the fence, I would jump on. And that's how I learned to golf. I golfed every single day during the summer. I would jump on the golf course and I would play for hours and hours and hours until it got dark every day. And that's how I got good by the time I was 15. A freshman in high school, I was a number one varsity, no, a five handicap. I was a good golfer by then because I practiced like constantly. I love golf. I would like to golf again, but golf is super time consuming and it's just not, it's not something I can get addicted to again. I don't have time for it right now at this stage in life. Victor, thank you very much. He's talking about Ray when he did his deed in the bushes over there across the street from my house. He's been wearing the hat lately. So, what happened to the plastic hammers to set pins, Dave? Thank you for the question because that has been like a common question in the videos because people see me using a different sledgehammer and they're like, "Oh, where's your plastic hammer? Did it break?" No, well, actually, it did break, but the plastic part didn't break. The plastic hammer was perfectly fine. When I'm on a job site, like I'm over here and then I'm over there, I don't carry a pouch. You guys see that? I don't wear a pouch because I'm in and out of the machine continually. I don't want to wear a pouch. So I don't have tools on me. So whatever I find that's closest to me laying on the job site, if there's a sledgehammer or even a claw hammer, some people ask me, why'd you use a claw hammer to set the pins? Well, a claw hammer was sitting right there. The mall was, 60 feet down the driveway. I just grabbed it. I only had one pin to set, but no, we broke the wooden handle on one of the plastic heads just the other day. You guys will see that in a video. Francisco broke it driving on a stake in a wooden stake. But the plastic part is still completely fine. I was disappointed that the wooden handle broke, and it broke right where the wood enters into the collar. It seems like it's going to be a weak point. I have two more. I'm going to send that one back. They'll send me another one for free, and then we'll just keep going with them. And if we break another one, we're going to expose the weak point. When I bought those hammers, I made the comment to the guy right on the video. I said, "Hey, if your hammers are no good, there's going to be hundreds of thousands or probably millions of people between Facebook and YouTube that are going to see that your hammers are no good." I told them it's not going to be good for business. So I didn't buy the hammers. I didn't sponsor. They're not sponsoring anything. It has nothing to do with me. I even made that comment when I bought them. So, but we'll give them the test through the summer for sure. Can you work with the local fire department to take care of the pile brush on the new land? I have had several comments like that. The issue that I have, it's not a clean brush pile. It is full of roots. It's full of soil. It's not sifted, so it just wouldn't burn at this point. I could carefully sift it and make a pile. I still don't know if Menominee Falls would let me burn. I know they wouldn't let me burn now because we're in the middle of a drought. But I am going to check into that because we are going to have an enormous, enormous pile of brush to deal with. We already have an enormous pile of brush, but it's about to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Sean H says, I work in new construction. I think about you guys all the time. Thank you very much. Did you keep the Mustang, Ryan? Robert, I guess you're going to have to wait and see. So, next Wednesday is the close, and maybe I'll have the Mustang, and maybe I sold it. I guess you're just going to have to wait and see. I think you guys can guess already by the smile on my face. Um, but that's going to happen next week. Madera, California. What's going on, Luis? Thanks for popping in. How many miles on the F-150? I think about 88,000 right now. Big Pappy. And it hasn't skipped a beat. I hear a lot of stuff about the cam phasers on the EcoBoost, but so far the engines run absolutely perfect. And I'm not replacing that truck, obviously, this year. We'll see about next year, but so far I'm happy with the truck, and I'm gonna keep driving it the way that it is. How's Nate the Great? I think he's doing fine. He just texted me today, just giving me an update. And seems like he's doing fine. He posts on Facebook all the time. Seems that he enjoys fishing quite a bit, and he enjoys his dog a lot. Never replace something that works. Sometimes not, but I know what you're saying. What happened to Daryl and Daryl Jr.? Oh boy, you've been gone from the channel for a long time. That was like 6 months ago. So just go back and watch the videos, but they're no longer with the company anymore. What's going on? 112 degrees in San Antonio today. It was like 87 here, and we were hot. We were like, oh, it's so hot. Give me some water. You guys have 112. That's insane. No, thank you. You should do a skit where you act like your old boss who is mad and yelled all the time. Yeah, we kind of thought about that. So yelling just doesn't do any good. People get mad I don't yell or get upset, and you should do this and you should fire them and you should fire him. And I get emails all the time. Like, people are so upset. Like, how can you still have him around? And all of them too. It's like, you need to fire Bugs, and you need to fire Eric and Francisco and Dino and Ray and all that. Like, okay, like, that's kind of my decision. So far, like, none of the guys have given me a real good reason to do that. Plus, I'm pretty patient. So, could you please wish my husband, D-Mac? What's up, D-Mac? Happy birthday to you. I would sing to you, but I would lose all of the people that are currently watching because I am not a great singer. Not at all. We could have Autumn come in here and sing. She's a really good singer. Pretty much all my daughters are really good singers. They'll like sing harmonies and songs. Like, I'll hear them in the other room, and it is just beautiful. Beautiful. And they all play piano and stuff too. They're very musically inclined. We have paid many thousands of dollars to, have them learn the instruments and stuff like that, but it pays off. It's a good thing. You have any really big jobs coming that you're excited for besides the new yard work? Well, I have a job where we're going to do a wood plank stamp coming up. I'm excited about that. I have some new wood plank stamps, so I'm excited to show you guys those as well. As far as the other jobs coming up, just pretty normal stuff, but even normal jobs, we try to do something cool on every job. We'll cut it up super small, do a little crisscross boom, do something special. Ryan has loyal fans. I agree with that. Appreciate you guys very, very much. Your support means a lot because I've explained this in the past, but emotionally, as a business owner, or dad of 7, and just a lot of stuff going on in my life, you have times where you just feel complete. I was just feeling overwhelmed just a few days ago. Honestly, I said something in the video that'll come out too. I was like, man, there's just so much going on. I was just feeling the weight of all these different things, the responsibility. It was just bearing down on me, and you feel it. You feel the pressure, and you guys are always an encouragement. So it keeps me going for sure. I get lots of good comments, encouraging emails. I mean, I get the bad too. Sometimes I mention the bad emails and the bad messages. Maybe I shouldn't mention those as much because I get way more encouraging emails. It's just the bad ones kind of like, they hit you a little different. But thank you very much to all of you. Thank you, Mr. Richards. How do we send gifts? So you can find my address on my website. Do you watch Mike's videos? I have watched some of Mike's videos. He's doing great. The algorithm of YouTube picked him up immediately, and they connected Mike's videos to Victory Outdoor Services, and his channel just it was the same with Eric. And honestly, if any of my guys, Francisco, if Big Ray starts a channel, he's actually been talking about that, believe it or not. If my son starts a channel, Autumn. So what happens is the algorithm, YouTube knows that they're connected with you, so it'll send their videos to your, big audience, and obviously you guys recognize them, so you click on them, subscribe, and it's pretty cool to see for me that there's that type of influence that people that are connected to me, their channels just blow up and they get great views, and that's just a testament to you guys. I think it's awesome. Honestly, I'm all for all my guys succeeding. And when I see that, I'm happy. A lot of guys get jealous and they're like, oh, you're. I've seen those comments on Eric's channel and stuff. Oh, you're just profiting from Ryan's success. Like, good. Ryan's happy for that. Like, profit. Like, go get it. You know what I mean? They still have to put in the work. They have to make the videos, and they have to do you know put out decent videos and stuff. But so they deserve it, man. I think it's awesome. It's cool to see my guys just start a channel, and then all of a sudden, like within weeks, their channels are bigger than almost all the other concrete guys on all of YouTube. Just like that. It's pretty crazy. I'm sure that some of those guys, like, they don't appreciate that or they get jealous, but it is what it is. Does Tino have a watch? Tino's got some stuff going on right now I can't talk about. He hasn't worked for a couple weeks. I am going to call him tonight and talk to him. So we just need to work through some stuff. Poured for you last week in Mequon. Thanks for fun. Super easygoing contractor. Travis, thank you very much. I assume that you're a driver. Poured for you last week. So thank you for the concrete, I guess. Drivers are, you guys see, our drivers are really all very cool guys. There was one driver I didn't get along with like a couple of years ago. Really, that's the only one that I haven't gotten along with. The rest of them are awesome. And even that guy, was just up and down with him. He doesn't work there anymore. He got fired. So all of them I get along with just great. And I think they like pouring with us too. I don't yell at those drivers. I don't give them a hard time at all. Um, Even when my guys are, well, it bugs, he'll get frustrated, driver say something, but even after that, I always go up to the driver, try to give him a compliment. I want him to leave our job feeling good. So I don't want anybody to come to our job sites and be discouraged leaving. Have you seen Perkins Builder Brothers channel? They would be a great collaboration in your off season. Charles, I have seen their channel. I've watched maybe a couple of their videos. It's a substantial construction channel, and looks like they do really, really cool stuff. They're not really, even though we're both construction guys, they're more, builders. I'm not a builder. I'm just a concrete guy. It's not the same. Those guys have amazing skills, what they're able to do and build. I don't, you know, if I came on one of their job sites and they wanted me to build something, like a carpenter, have those type of skills, I just don't. I would probably look stupid. Rubenex says, I'm a civil construction estimator from Miami. Let me know if you have any questions regarding the civil plans. Believe it or not, Rubenex, I have the civil engineering pretty much done already. I have the grading plan done, and he's working on the rest. So I'm already like way down that road. Construction plans, the preliminary plans should be done in a couple weeks from the builder. I'm gonna go. What's up, Grub Mud? I'm gonna go to the city and start chatting with them. The civil engineer gave me instructions to do that. So within the next week, I got to go talk to them and really get things moving along. Does Eric have his CDL? Dave, no, he doesn't. But for what he drives, his little dump trucks, they're going to be under the 26,000 pounds. That wouldn't require a CDL. Now, if you pull a trailer that's loaded with over 10,000 pounds, you do need a CDL just for the trailer. So I don't know what he's all towing. Bobcats in a small trailer, you're like right on the threshold. You're really close to 10,000 pounds. So, I'm not sure exactly. What's up with the thumbnail? That's just something I threw in there, Jonathan. Years ago, we had poured that driveway and bull floated it, and a dog came. That is my job. Dog ran right down the driveway and tracked it all up. KO, what up with Daryl? That I would not know. I talked to him last time about a senior 3 weeks ago or so. I've been a garbage man for a few years. Makes me smile seeing you. You're gonna like the videos coming up then, Drew, because we give a big shout out to the garbage man on one of the jobs coming up. Carl, get the lad some Dr. Pepper, and he gave in pounds, so I already know where you're from. Across the pond. What happened to the Chevy 5500 Grease Monkey? Unfortunately, I couldn't make the payments on it, and they came and the bank came and took it back. So the 5500 is just kidding. I'm kidding. Don't start. I didn't get any vehicles repossessed. It's in the winter shop, sitting pretty. Still has the punching bag on the back. Thank you, Philip. He says he's a new sub. I really appreciate that. Ola from South Carolina. My sister now, my sister and brother-in-law now live in South Carolina, so I'm probably gonna go visit her this winter. I said that last winter, but I didn't go, but I want to, and I'm gonna plan on it. Any more shop videos coming up, Bob? There are no shop videos coming up. I don't have any shop work. I don't have any time for shop work. So when the fall hits, that's basically, it's what I do. Summer, we pour concrete. In the winter, I'll go straight to the shop and I'll start fixing stuff. And I love welding. I love fabricating. You guys saw that, last winter. I love doing stuff like that. It's a great like release. It's relaxing, fabricating. You get to use your creativity. When you're making something out of metal, you can make it however you want. I really like it. So we'll be back in the shop. How's MacGyver been? I'm not sure. I haven't talked to him. I just put his rent check in the door last month, and I'm probably going to do that again. I just haven't been around the winter shop much at all. Are you getting another hot rod or sports car? No, I won't be getting any more sports cars. Nothing this year for sure. Ryan, post more kickboxing videos. Marcus, I'm not really kickboxing anymore. The one that I did last, was it last year? I don't know what it was. I mean, I still could kickbox, just do workouts and spar a little bit here and there and do bag work. It's just, I am so busy in the summer. It is crazy. Just don't have time for like those hobby type of things. I love fishing. Like I already mentioned earlier in the brock or the live stream. I like uh, what I like fishing, golfing. I mentioned there's a lot of things I'd like to do, but it's summertime. I'm 46. I'm in my prime. I need to just like keep pushing forward with work. I got the land obviously, and that's really my focus. So I'm not going to be blowing a bunch of money because I need all my money. I'm really focused on developing that land as quickly as possible. Did you take the garbage out today? Of course I did, Mitchell. So I'll tell you a story. Last night, so Annie, you guys know my cat Annie. One of you named them from the internet because my wife gave me Annie for anniversary, and one of you guys recommended that we name her Annie for anniversary. Anyways, she's an indoor cat. We had her declawed. She doesn't have any claws, with the young children and the furniture and all that. We always do have done that with our several cats that we've owned. She's an indoor cat, but she is not an indoor cat in her mind. So she goes outside and we can't stop her. She'll crouch by a door. As soon as one of the kids, we have 7 kids plus my wife and I, the doors are opening and closing all day. You can't stop her. She goes outside. So last night we're going to bed and my wife said, "Have you seen Annie?" I said, "No." So anyways, she wasn't in the house. She was outside and we were like, oh man, the reason we do indoor cats here, we have coyotes that kind of come through the neighborhood. And yesterday afternoon, my daughter came in and said, "I just saw a coyote across the street." So in my mind, I'm like, oh, great. Annie got eaten by a coyote. We've had her less than a year. The little kids are going to be crying and so sad. I went outside last night before I went to bed, maybe like 11 o'clock, and I'm like calling her name, and she's not coming. She's gone. So I'm like, oh man. So I go to bed. I have a hard time falling asleep because I think Danny's dead. Got up to go to the bathroom at like 2 a.m. I was like, oh, I'll just go outside again and call her name. So I open the front door. I call her name. Here she comes, trotting up the driveway like nothing's wrong. Like she didn't have a care in the world. She runs right up to me. I pick her up, and Annie's upstairs right now. So all is good with Annie, but I am concerned that that could actually become a reality that she gets, eaten by a coyote or something outside. She has no claws. She has nowhere to protect herself, and we have no way to stop her. We're not going to like lock her in a box in the house. She's going to get out. So that's just one of those things. We had the cat previous to her. His name was Scout, He had no claws. Same thing. We couldn't stop him. He was outside all the time for years and years and years, and nothing bad ever happened to him. So hopefully she'll be fine. What's going on, Bristol Borough Public Works? Thank you, Nick, very much. If you got her declawed, I lost a lot of respect for you. Declawing cats is disgusting and cruel. Brian, it is what it is, buddy. I knew I was going to get that because there's people that get completely nuts with animals. So, yep, Annie is declawed. Sorry I lost your respect. I'm sure you're not the only one, but it's a cat. It's a cat. And, for our kids to be able to love on the cat, that's what we needed to do. So, let's not talking anymore about Annie's declaw. How far behind are you on editing? We're not really behind on editing. Autumn's been editing just fine. I explained this earlier, but we purposefully try to create like a 2 week sponge period for various different reasons, including like us going on vacation. We'll be able to run videos right through with no break and stay consistent. So we're not really behind on videos. I have never heard of Bristol Borough. I apologize. Can you explain your concrete order, the recipe? So low chert is a type of aggregate. It's a special aggregate that doesn't, the rock, the stone, the gravel, doesn't absorb water. So in the wintertime, it doesn't freeze from the inside out and break itself out, causing chert pops. So low chert, air entrainment. Air entrainment is like microscopic bubbles. It's a chemical they add to the concrete. It creates these little bubbles. It gives ice that saturates into the concrete. When ice forms, it gives that expanding water, that freezing water, a place to expand into instead of breaking, putting the pressure internally on the concrete and breaking it apart. So that's low chert air. Fiber mesh is a type of reinforcement. It's like a polypropylene fiber mesh. It gives the concrete just a little bit more tensile strength during the curing process, and after the curing process, it does very little. The amount of bags that we use, that's how much cement is in the mix. And then the NCA is an accelerant. It's a chemical to make the concrete set up faster. We'll also use a retarder in the hot weather, which will slow down the set time. We haven't used any of that yet, but it hasn't been super, super smoking hot yet. Any tips on, let me slow it down, how to grow and get a good flow of work going through? If you just started your business, Tate, and be patient and work hard, because the longer that you're in business, you're going to develop a reputation more, and it's like a snowball effect. More people know you, more people have heard of you, and more and more and more, and pretty soon, after several years, you're going to be well known, and getting work and getting those leads, especially when the economy is good, like right now, it's very easy. For me, getting leads and having enough work is very, very easy. I don't struggle at all. And it's nothing special that I do, like, oh, Ryan special. I don't do any crazy marketing. That has nothing to do with it. It's just because of the amount of years. If you consistently put out good work, good job after good job after good job, those people will tell their friends anytime they're asked, who did your concrete work? Or do you know a concrete guy? They're going to talk about you. So that just all builds up, and pretty soon you get more than you can handle in times that are good. Like I said, the economy has everything to do with it. We've had a good economy for several years now, so it's been easy for a long time. At some point, I expect it to become more difficult, but we're still kind of riding the wave. I have heard some stuff. I'm on the Facebook forums. Was it Concrete Finishers 101 and concrete, something about your knowledge. But anyways, I read through those sometimes. Somebody asked a question the other night, is it slowing down by you? And surprisingly, across the country, it's very regional, it seemed like, but in certain places of the country, things are slowing down for contractors. It has not slowed down here, but what happens in one place usually will, it'll come into another place. So I'm expecting a little bit of a slowdown, but I'm not concerned, like overly concerned at all at this point. Can you brief as to why you chose to pay cash for the land? I was a RED over 25 years. We never use our own cash. Loan, 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 loan. Autism awareness asked me why I pay cash. I'm not a bank guy. So whenever I can pay cash for something, I do it. And I fought, I scrambled, I used everything that I had. And I have a plan for years into the future on how I'm going to pay for stuff, the buildings and so forth. There's lots of reasons for that. Number one, when the bank owns your land, they're going to tell you what to do. They're going to put you on a timetable. they have a big interest in the land. It's almost like it's their land and you work for them. I'm not working for the bank. That's my land. I'm doing whatever I want on the land whenever I want. I'm going with my timetable. I'm building when I want to build, when I'm good and ready. I'm going to work with the contractors that I want to work with, and I'm going to do the things that the way that I want to do them. I understand the whole bank thing. I could accelerate the process of building big time if I got a bank involved and, got a big loan or whatever, and I could build these buildings. But then guess what? I'm not free and clear. I have all this even more responsibility on my shoulders. I have all this pressure. I got to get this done. I got to get over there. I got to do this. I got to do that. Like, there's no pressure on me. Like, next week, that's my land. I have taxes to pay. Big whoop. Taxes are not much until you start putting buildings on them. So that's why I don't use a bank. I'm patient. I always have been. I don't buy stuff that I can't afford, and I'm not taking an enormous bank loan to do anything on that land. That's just the way that it's going to be. It's going to be the way that I build the buildings as well. So after I build a couple buildings, if those buildings are consistently generating really good rental income and it's consistent, it's always going to be there, I see it's going to be good, I would entertain a bank loan to accelerate the last building or the last two buildings, because that's there. That pressure is not really on you anymore, because that money's always there. It's always going to cover whatever mortgage that you have. But starting off, I'm doing this my way, no pressure. I got a lot of heat for that, like, oh, you're so stupid, you should do this and you should do that. Buy your own land, buy your own buildings, and you can do it your way. And I promise, I won't give you a hard time at all if go to the bank and borrow every penny and, bury yourself in debt. I won't give you any pressure. I won't give you any criticism. You do you, and I'll do me. And I'll take you guys along for the ride, and we'll have fun doing it. Elon Musk says banks are a hustle, and that dude is smart. I'm glad he showed up. All the best to you. That's funny. Yeah, right. Can you imagine if Elon Musk actually did show up? That would be crazy. That guy is, man, I got a lot of respect for him. His mind is, he's like, I don't know, he's one of the great minds of modern days. I know you're putting all your money into the new venture, but do you plan on wrapping the new skid steer when you guys see the new skid steer? I had one of these upcoming videos. You're not even going to know it was a new skid steer. So we've been busted brush with the new skid steer. People criticized me and said, "Oh, you just bought that new skid steer. It's just a shop princess." It is not a shop princess anymore. Wait till you see it. It looks like it's 10 years old. We have been busting brush with the new skid steer, and it's pretty dirty. I will say that. Joe, well, thank you very much. Buy a coffee in honor of Jewel. She's not running the show at the local grocery store. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. She's at a local grocery store still working. Is your wife ever coming on the live? So my wife is pretty shy. Um, I know she would have good things to say, but I just don't think she wants to. And so some people's personalities, they just don't want to. And even if she was sitting right next to me right now, um, she would probably just let me do all the talking. Please know this for the channel. It's not just awesome for concrete. Yeah, I know. I mean, concrete is part of it. Obviously, that's my business, but the channel is obviously it's more of a vlog. It's more of like my life and the people around me. So we try to have fun with it. Big Ray and Alex, the frequency of your questions means you are looking for an argument. I don't know. As a construction manager, I'm not even touching that subject. But thank you, Connie. I appreciate that. People do. I don't touch subjects like that. It's just way too controversial. So I just leave it alone. People try to ask you like all the time gotcha questions like, when's the last time you beat your wife? You're like, what? So they ask you questions where there's no right answer. So I just avoid the questions. I've been doing this for a while. I'm very, like I said earlier, I'm very careful with what I say and with what I don't say. That just kind of comes with experience. And I've been around some really great leaders in my life that taught me a lot about how to control yourself, how to control your emotions, how to act when you're under pressure. Some guys just explode. So I've had some really good mentors, I guess you could say, in that area where I just saw them go through like times of extreme pressure, and I watched how they dealt with the pressure, how they reacted. how they dealt with their emotions, and I learned a lot from them. Things they said and didn't say, even in the heat of the battle. When you're in the heat of a battle, when you're under the enormous pressure, man, you can say some really stupid things. So it's best to just, because I get upset too. I just shut up. I don't say anything. I really think about what I'm going to say, the next thing that I'm going to say, because you can, man, you can put your foot in your mouth real fast. Lose the bugs, dumb dog. Save the channel. Rich, you just called Jade a dumb dog. Sorry, buddy. I got to eliminate you from the channel. Sorry, buddy. I actually like Jade quite a bit. She's a great dog. Customers come around her all the time. She's very friendly. She's very kind. If you don't like the dog, if it bothers you so much that Jade is on the job site, just watch a different channel. Just watch a different channel. It's always amazing that people will continue to watch something that irritates them to no end. So lots of YouTube channels. Don't talk politics and religion in polite company. I do talk about talk about both of those a little bit, but I do control, what I say. I'm very, very careful, like I said. Oh, good question. Zippo says, do you prefer your New Holland or the Bobcat? So the New Holland, it took a minute to get used to, but I really like the New Holland. It is slightly less horsepower. I think it's 84 horsepower compared to 92 horsepower, but I can't really tell the difference. And it's very comfortable. It's very spacious. I really, really love the air conditioning. It's very dusty on the new land, and it's hot, obviously, in a cab. You can't really have a cab with a door and no air conditioning in a Bobcat. You'll just fry yourself out. It's like, um, it's basically just cooking you from the inside. So I've been appreciating the New Holland. Smooth, powerful. I really, really like it. When is the merch coming? So we're meeting finally. I know I sound like a broken record. It's coming, it's coming, it's coming. I am sorry. I apologize. It's taken a lot longer than I was hoping. But next Monday, we are doing our final meeting with the website builder. We're going to get our instructions so we can edit whenever we want on the website, but it is ready. All they got to do is push the button after we know what we're doing when we meet with them Monday. So it's going to be next week sometime, probably later in the week. I want to do like the first few days. I'm going to put the website up, and I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to make it public, but it's going to just pop up, and I'm going to have some of my relatives and friends just order stuff, make sure the system's running smoothly, make sure that we got our shipping and all that stuff, everything in order, and get those orders out the door, get our feet wet, and then when we think we're ready, then we'll open the website. But everything's ready. It's going to be next week sometime. Finally. Finally. New Makita jackhammer yet? The one that I have is still good. Um, the housing broke, the plastic housing, because it fell off the truck last year coming around a corner, and it broke the housing or cracked it. And then on the last job we were on, it actually like broke all the way. So it just needs a new housing. But that jackhammer has had very little use. The Makita electric. We don't do a lot of uh, where did your financial literacy come from? Uh, Maybe I'll get to that. Maybe I'll get to that. So, financial literacy, knowing what to do with your money. Um, I've always been of a very conservative mindset. So, like what I do with money, um, it just follows along with who I am as a person. I'm very conservative. I'm very careful with things. I don't like to extend myself. I don't like to go crazy buying toys and stuff. The toys that you see me buy, for instance, the boat, like I can afford a really nice boat. I can afford a wakeboard boat. I could go buy a wakeboard boat today, $150,000 wakeboard boat if I wanted to do that. I could have did that last year. I could get a loan for pretty much anything that I want. I could go get a I could go get a loan for a Lamborghini right now if I wanted to. I could drive a Porsche. That's just not who I am. I try to be wise and I try to think to the future. Like, is this a good decision? So the toys that you do see me buy, the deck boat, for instance, it's an old deck boat. It's old. It's not it's not mint. It's not beautiful. It was not expensive. So the Mustang, I bought I can't remember what it was, 16 or $18,000, something like that, the Mustang. So the toys that you see or have seen me buy, they're older, they're not real expensive. It's something that I can purchase and it doesn't really damage me financially. It doesn't like put me in a hole just because of where my finances are right now. I can buy a $12,000 deck boat and it's not going to crush me. It's not going to cause me not to be able to pay my bills, if you know what I'm saying. So yes, I buy toys here and there, but I'm careful. I'm careful. I'm conservative, and that's really the whole like philosophy of my finances and how I treat them is um, I want to have money in the bank. I don't put myself out there. I'm just very cautious. I guess that's pretty much it. Some of these comments are disgusting. Well, some of the comments are always disgusting. Let me just see what's going on. All right. I'll get rid of that guy, you guys, because you guys keep talking about him. So we got rid of him. Sorry, Big Ray, but apparently you're being stupid. I didn't see your comments, but other comments saying you're being stupid. So you're out. Big Ray's gone, you guys. You don't have to worry about Big Ray again. If he comes on as somebody else, I'll get rid of that one too. What's going on, Mitch? Mitch I don't know how to say your name. Llewellyn. Recognize him. He's a Facebook friend. How do I practice conservative financial literacy? You can start out with getting Dave Ramsey's book, Total Money Makeover. I read that book many, many years ago. So I don't agree with everything Dave Ramsey says, but that's a good book. Like if you're just starting out, you don't know anything about finances, you don't know about how to be conservative financially, like read the book. It's a good starter book, somewhere to start. It's a good starting point to start to understand finances because so many people like take out loans and do things that they just can't afford. Like everybody wants a new car. Like I get it, but sometimes you just can't have a new car. It doesn't make sense. You're going to put yourself in a financial burden and you're going to regret it. I get the stories, trust me. Um, I'm going to go ahead and block this same guy that's called me like 6 times. I'm sorry, bud, but don't call me that many times in a row. I know it's fun to watch a live stream. Like, oh look, Ryan's phone is ringing. He's getting it. Oh man, it's funny. Like, I'll get prank phone calls. I had 2 prank phone calls last week, and it's just interesting to me because these are grown men. These are guys you can tell by their voice. They're like in their 30s at least. And I don't get what is so entertaining about calling somebody like me and like I just don't get what and being so ridiculously stupid. Like you're 30 some years old, dude, and you're like acting and doing things that I used to do when I was like 9, calling people and prank phone calls. Like, I'm sorry, but if you're on here watching, any of you, like, man, it's time to get busy and do something with your life, honestly. You gotta get out of your parents' basement. It's time once you hit your 30s, it's time to go. And if you still think like prank phone calls are fun, it's time to grow up and mature and be a man. All right, just shut that off. I think I just invited other people to call by doing that and saying that is my fault. That's what blocking. I block a lot of people. Man, living in South Florida, Kib says pouring concrete 103 degrees, not easy. No, it's not easy. Is it ever okay to only use rebar in a patio? Absolutely, Abraham. It depends on how much rebar you use, but depending on the size and your spacing of the rebar, you can make rebar way stronger than wire mesh. I mean, wire mesh is sufficient here. I do it. I've done it for a long time, and I don't have any structural problems with any concrete that I've ever poured. People are like, "Well, you need to put rebar and wire mesh and do this and this." And no, I don't. I've been doing this successfully. I haven't had any issues for a long, long, long time. All the years I've been in business. But yeah, rebar can definitely be stronger, man. If you use, I just put a video of us taking out. Did we put that one out yet? Yeah, we did. The really thick patio, half-inch rebar. You could see it's very difficult to remove. Had wire mesh, half-inch rebar. And it's hard to get out, man. I was strong. Autumn, Autumn. Well, you don't have to come on here. I just wanted to let you know something special. You don't have
What's
to come on.
special?
Big C484 just gave you $200.
Why?
How come? Why did you give my daughter $200? That's a huge, enormous live stream gift. That is super cool. Thank you very much. You want to say thank you?
Yeah, I want to say thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I appreciate that.
That's really cool. Autumn needs it. She has to pay. I don't pay for their school or college. They have to pay their own way on everything. I don't pay for my kids' stuff. Obviously, I give them, their clothes and everything they need to live. But college and stuff, I'm not. Dad's not paying for college. You know, and I've mentioned this before, but if ever came down to it, where I'm not gonna let my kids struggle. That's not gonna happen. But I'm going to teach my kids that they need to earn money. They need to pay their own way, pay their own bills. And that's the way that the world works. Once they come out from this house and go live on their own, they're going to be prepared to pay their own way. If the parents pay for everything and then the kids go out on their own, it's going to be like a tsunami of financial pressure on the kid. You're not doing the kid any good if you're paying for everything. I think it's poor parenting to just, even if you can afford it, and I can afford it, I can afford to take care of my kids' college, but I don't, and I'm not going to. That's how you raise kids, man. That's how kids learn. Sometimes they got to feel the pressure, even when they're young or in college. Like they need to know that financial pressure is a real thing. So I don't offer when they're under that pressure. I'm like, oh, I'll just bail you out. I don't do that. So if it ever came down to it, like I said, and they were like really struggling, obviously I'm their dad and I love them. I'm gonna help them out, of course. Garo Carapolo, $200 tip is weird. I don't think it's weird at all. I think it's awesome. Maybe you're just stingy, Garo, and you would never think of doing something like that. But Autumn is worth it. Thank you very much. Nigel, thank you very much. Sup, Bryce? Thanks for joining here tonight. I got a little time, probably about 20 minutes. We got church tonight, so I got it ready. Church is at 7:30. But I did have a little time, and I am pretty much scheduled out. Jobs for the next week. I know what's going on. I got materials ready. Guys know what's all going on. The equipment's good. So I had a little time. So I was like, man, I'll just jump on here. I haven't been on here for a little while. He also paid for Jade's monthly salary of $50. No, Jade's salary is not $50. She makes way more than that. She makes $50 an hour on the job. No, I'm just kidding. Super funny last video when Tino called you at night. That was super funny. I was actually relaxing and Tino called me. Sorry, boss, I'm late. It was, if you didn't see the video, one of my workers called me at like 6:24 in the evening. We start work at 6:30 in the morning, and he was like totally out of it. He had fallen asleep, and he told me that he like pulls all shades in the house, so it's super dark in his house, and he thought it was 6:24 in the morning. And he called me in a panic that he was going to be late, and he said, "I'm on my way. I'll be there as soon as I can." I was like, "Tino, dude, it's 6:24 at night." And he was like, "Oh, really?" Like, yes, sir. Troy, thank you very much. Any word on the merch shop? It's not up yet, but it'll be up next week. So we're right there meeting with the website guy. Final time on Monday at 3 o'clock to go over everything for the last time. We're going to run some tests to make sure that our process is going to work and the shipping software and all that stuff works. So we're going to run some tests next week, and by the end of next week, the website will be live. And then I'll give you guys the name of the website. It's awesome, man. The website is super cool. I paid a lot of money to have the website done. I hired the top website company in our area to do a new website for the merchandise and my business. My business needed a new website desperately. So I just bit the bullet and I just was like, let's do both the websites at the same time. It's time for an upgrade. And they did a great job. And once it's up and running and I know everything functions, I'll give them a shout out. Maybe it'll crash and burn, and then I'll regret giving them a shout out. Charles, before you took a leap of faith with your own business, what did you do to prepare so that you felt comfortable making the jump? It's still, even when I was younger, I was always conservative, so I didn't really take a jump necessarily. I kind of put my feet in the water, and then started getting deeper and deeper and deeper. I didn't quit my job. I started doing side jobs, just like my son's doing right now, just like Eric's doing right now. Started doing side jobs, and the side jobs started to become more and more and more and more. And then, I didn't have time to keep my regular job. I needed that time to work on my own work. And that's how I got into business. It's not super expensive to get into some businesses. Concrete's a little bit more expensive, but like lawn care is very, very inexpensive to start a business in lawn care. That's why it's so competitive as well. Concrete, there's a little bit more of an investment, but I got started with a 1988 Ford F-350 pickup. We ripped the bed off, put a flatbed on, welded a lumber rack, and away we went. We bought a $2,000 single axle dump truck from a local plumber, which, the dump truck was junk, but it ran and it got us started. So it had $8,000 to get started and then some hand tools. That was it. And $6,000 was a loan from the bank because I did not have $8,000 at the time. That was a lot of money back then. What's your opinion on the Craft Orange Thunder, Sean? Are you using Shopify? No, it's a custom website. Sean Pettibone asks about the Orange Thunder. We just got the bull floats and derbies. Have you ever considered a vibratory screed? So we have used a vibratory screed. I have the MBW battery powered. I used it like on a couple jobs last year, and I'm not a huge fan of it. I know that like goes against what a lot of guys have said across the forums that love them. I just didn't love it, and I didn't love it because I didn't know how to use it. I didn't love it because I feel like it doesn't have enough vibratory power to shake that head enough. To pull the concrete back. It's still very, very heavy pulling the concrete back. It's a super big workout because it's just not shaking enough and vibrating the concrete quite enough. Now, keep in mind, I got a 14-foot pan, which is a big pan. Normally, like on our gas powered vibratory screed, it's a 12-foot pan. So you're comparing 12 foot with 14 foot. So there's a little difference there. But even so, when you're using a gas one, I only use them about half throttle because they shake way too much. So you can't really compare the battery powered with the gas powered screed. As far as the Orange Thunder goes, the Orange Thunder is very similar. If you have the bull float, you know this already, but it's very similar to like a wood or a resin float. So they're great for finishing faces of steps, finishes vertical faces of stoops or thickened perimeters. That's where they really shine. But to me, they're very similar to a wooden or a resin float. I don't think there's anything special or magical about them, but it does close stuff up a little bit faster. So let's see. No fuel cards? Yes, I have fuel cards, Nick. I don't know why you asked that. They're in all the trucks. The only person that doesn't have a code is Big Ray. So I just never got him his own code yet. But yeah, all the fuel trucks are in there. Ryan is generally with Big Ray, so they can fuel up together. Bugs fuels himself. Eric fuels himself. Everybody's got a code. I got a code. Have you used your victory stamps on anything besides the stamp patio you showed? Yes, I have. The video's coming up. I use it on brushed concrete. Works great on brushed concrete as well. Keith Vlot says he works 60 hours a week, 12-hour shifts Monday through Friday, and then on the weekends, he's doing lawn work. That's pretty cool, man. Keep up the hustle. That's what you got to do to get ahead. That's the way everything is so expensive nowadays. Everything you go to buy. It's like I just bought new tracks for the Bobcat, the T320. And I don't remember exactly what they cost last time I bought them, but they were somewhere in the neighborhood of like $3,200 for both tracks. They were like 40 some $100 for new tracks. I was like, what? And it was only like a year, maybe a year and a half ago or a season and a half ago where I bought tracks. And the guy at Bobcat Plus, he was like, man, we get price increase notices like very regularly, sometimes monthly. The prices on the parts just go up and up and up and up. My wife has mentioned to me, I don't do the grocery shopping. My wife does all of that. But she's mentioned to me like the prices of groceries, and it's just crazy. She's just shocked. And everything is so expensive. It's like you need a side hustle just to like the equivalent of what your regular job used to be able to buy, if you know what I'm saying. Eric side work discussed. I already did. I'm not going to hit that subject again. So you can go back in the live stream. I didn't say a lot live stream. I didn't say a lot about it, but I said enough. Can't we get a video each day now that Amber, it's autumn actually, that she's back? No, definitely not. Jess Martin, thank you very much. That is extremely kind. Making videos is very time consuming and it's a lot of work. So, like making daily videos, I could make daily videos and I could reduce the quality and, we could just do quick edits and the video quality it would go way down and nobody would appreciate that. Trust me, the way that they are now, I think they're entertaining. They seem to keep people's attention and they're well edited, thought through. We take our time and all that. I just want to make good videos. I rather put out fewer good videos than just videos day after day after day that aren't up to my standard, if you know what I'm saying. Sue Shiba Mac, thank you very, very much for all the kids to split. That's cool, man. That's very cool. Can you sing happy birthday to D Mac? I can't, but if Autumn's around um, next time, we'll get you. I'm a really bad singer. Like, I don't like to be embarrassed publicly, and there's like over 3,000 people watching right now. I am not a good singer. Just trust me. But thank you very much. That was extremely kind. Band paper blank. I'm not sure what that means. No singing. See? Thank you. Dazzle Trap says don't sing. So I'm with Dazzle Trap on that one. The videos are pretty long now. Yep. Try to make them a little longer. So Ray wore the pink hat for a short time, yes. SoCal Gunner says we paid 5K for a set of tracks in our T870. That was last May. Man, it's so expensive. How did the Freightliners grill get all busted up? It's been busted up for years and years and years, and I really don't remember how it got busted. It was a long time ago. We never got around to replacing it. It doesn't really bother me. What does Ryan Jr. study? So Ryan Jr., my son, he's studying to be a missionary. So he's at ministry college. He's going to be starting his senior year this fall, and he intends on being an evangelist, particularly to Mexico, to the youth. So young people in Mexico. That's where he feels he's been led at this time. The real Shrubby, thank you very much. How's the Mustang? Hello from Canada. Thank you, Tyler. Mustang's fine. I'm going to keep that a little bit of a secret, until next week, and I'll show you what's going on. I am not, I apologize, Kim. We are not shipping merchandise to Canada. I know a lot of people are going to get mad at me for that. We're just not prepared to do worldwide shipping right now. We got to get our feet under us and learn how to ship the whole process. We're rookies. Excuse me. So once we get things going after a while, if we feel comfortable, then we're gonna, we'll expand into worldwide shipping. But right now, we're just gonna ship to the lower 48 states. So I apologize, but in the future, yes, we will. Let's see, what denomination? I'm a Baptist. I go to a Baptist church, and I actually have to leave really soon. Were you sued this season? JR, I was not sued this season. So I did have an issue with some material from a couple years ago. I can't talk too much about it because it's part of the agreement, but I'll be vague. So there was a material issue. It was not workmanship related whatsoever. It was 100% material related, and it was a difficult situation because the client was difficult to deal with. We went back and forth for like a good couple months, but we finally came to an agreement and we settled. My supplier and myself, all three of us were involved, and we settled it all. And she's happy, and I'm satisfied, and my supplier's satisfied. So, yeah, I did have one difficult situation, which I mentioned here. And again, I'm going to be vague, but it's all settled. It's taken care of. 100. Everything's signed off, and that was weeks ago, actually. So that was the only difficulty that I've had in years actually with a customer, and it was not my fault, but I got caught right in the middle of it. This is Lewis from Houston, Texas. I don't work with concrete. I'm in the water business, but I watch all your videos. Keep it up. Easy money, yes sir. We are definitely going to keep it up. And Munoz, Waiting for the next video? Friday. Bad concrete. Yeah, unfortunately, you could say that. So the degree that it was bad concrete was very insignificant. I will leave it at that. But the problem was very minor, extremely minor. It was one of those deals. So when I say it was a material problem, it wasn't like nothing was like really destroyed or like out of the ordinary. It was pretty normal stuff, but whatever. It's over. I'm happy, and the client's happy, and it's water under the bridge. It's one of those situations you got to deal with sometimes. Hi Ryan, where are you originally from? I mean your roots. So like we have Czechoslovakian, Serbian. My grandma on my dad's side was from Sicily. Have some German and a little bit of Polish, I think. I think that's about it. So obviously, when you get to my generation, we're all mixed up. We are like through and through. We are mutts for the most part. Obviously, um, my wife is German. Let me see. Just give me a second here. Guten Tag. Yeah. Did you find a better sprayer yet? No, I haven't. So I wish they would just fix the little issues they have on the Chapin sprayers. They're really good sprayers. They just need to, you know, there's a crimp that they need to fix on the hose, and then there's that soft metal on the top where you tighten. It's very soft metal. It's aluminum, I believe. But if they could maybe thicken that or make the tabs so they go in further, because they just barely stick out, and those just strip right out. Soft metal, and when you pump those up, they're hard to get loose. You have to kind of crank on it a little bit. So they have to make it strong enough so you can crank on it and loosen instead of strip. Do you guys have any concrete pumps in your area? So we do have concrete pump companies. Generally, the pump companies they don't really use nobody really uses trailer pumps. I think the pump companies have a couple trailer pumps. You never see them out and about. I never ever see trailer pumps being toted around by trucks around here. Never. You see the boom pumps all the time going to the big commercial sites and all that. But pumps are just not a thing at all around here. What's going on, Abby, who's typing a paper for college? She watches the channel just for Annie. Yes, sir, Troy. Thank you very much. Shout out to Troy's girlfriend, Abby. And good luck on the paper, by the way. Come to Australia in your off season. That's on my bucket list, honestly. I would love to come to Australia. It looks super awesome there. Just from watching television shows, YouTube videos, like I know for sure I would get along great with the Australian people. I think I'll fit right in over there. I like to work with them, but that's a big trip, honestly, to go to Australia. Manny, shout out to Manny. He said somebody $20 for a shout out. Well, Manny, you got a shout out for free. So I hope you have a great night. Manny, I think you're awesome, dude. So how old are you? How are you doing, Ryan? Mr. Odds and Ends. I think he has a I think you sent me something once. I don't know, I recognize you. Maybe from YouTube or something. Troy said she was super surprised. That's awesome. What will be your next skid steer after your New Holland? Man, I just bought a New Holland. It's brand new. Honestly, skid steers will last. Even too many racist people on the channel. Really, I have not experienced that at all. So a skid steer will last at least 10 years if you take decent care of it and you don't beat it up, you service it and all that. So I'm not even thinking about another skid steer. I mean, that's a decade down the road before the New Holland needs to be replaced. I think the Bobcat is a 2012, so it's over 10 years. It's on on its 11th season already, and I work them pretty hard. So I'm not really thinking about a new skid steer. Are you ever going to shave your beard? The only time I ever shaved my beard uh, for a long time is I was acting in a church program, and I had to shave my beard, and I did it, and I just hated how I looked, and my wife hated how I looked, so I'm not shaving the beard. Oh, let's see. There's a few bad apples. Love your positivity. $50 for Eric. Eric. Church time. Landmark, you are right. I do have to go. I got to get ready for church. I have to end this thing. But I appreciate you guys. I just want to keep answering questions. Man, I love reading the questions and answering, but I got to go. So I apologize. I don't know when I'll be back. We're not coming back live on Saturday. I'm going to be out, like I said, with my family. So just have to wait and see. Maybe in another couple weeks or something. But I appreciate you guys. And I hope you guys have a great night. Adios.